Hello and very good day to Sir Shake. So we are from Group 2 and my name is Laung A and these are my other three friends which is Muhaimin, Hazel and Uma.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Okay, so today we are from Group 2 and we are going to present on veterinary entrepreneurs profile, which is our chosen veterinary entrepreneurs is Mr. Teoh Kian Seong. He is owner of Candy Pet House, which is one of the well-known candy pet shop in Kota Baru, Kelantan. Next. Okay, so I'm going to start with entrepreneur and company background, which is our entrepreneur name is Mr. Teoh Kian Siang, and then he is 36 years old. He's a guy and he's a Chinese Buddhist, and he is originated from Kota Baru, Kelantan. And as for company name, the company that he's running, which is now is a candy pet house, and the type of business that he is running is wholesaling, retailing, and services. This is because he has a warehouse and he also have a pet shop, which is a store. And then he also run a pet grooming, pet boarding, and pet consultation. So, which is matched with wholesaling. Wholesaling is a process of selling a product in a bulk to the customer that their purpose is going to resell it again. And then service is where the work need to be done, and then with a skill, which is pet grooming, pet boarding, and pet consultation that are being offered by Candy Pet House or Mr.Teoh. And then as for the age of the company, Candy Pet House has been operated for 7 years since 2013. And then as for number of employee, there are 10 of them, including Mr. Teoh and the wife itself, which is Miss Yap Heng Ping. Next. Okay, next I am going to talk about the entrepreneur before starting the venture. So as for working experience, we got the chance to know that Mr. Teoh was working as a mechanical engineer before, where he worked in air conditioning service and he also worked in a brick manufacturing industry. He worked in a air conditioning service for 6 years, and then he worked in a brick manufacturing industry for 7 years. So from here, I can say that there are so many things that are related in between mechanical engineer and business field, where actually, based on his working experience, the skill that he had collected from being a mechanical engineer, he have some skill, which is he have a very effective project planning, time management, and problem solving. And apart from that, he also have a very keen attention to details, which is a very good trait for someone to run a business. And he also have a very good skill of communication and having a very strong experience in data processing. And of course, a mechanical engineer have a very high level of technical and computer knowledge. And next, which is a role model. His role model is his father and his uncle. He said his father and his uncle is his backbone who supported him and make him stronger from the start, and he adores them because they have a very positive energy on being a role model, where they actually show a passion and ability to inspire him so that he becoming him today. And then as for entrepreneurial activities, Mr. Teoh had the experience to join some NGOs activity, which is non-government organization activity, where and business classes where he learned all the skill for managing business and business management here. So Mr. Teoh has the entrepreneurial intention at the age of late 20, where he has the internal motivation and a positive perspective of starting a business. This is because at that age he had a attitude towards entrepreneurship and money and desire for success, and he also think that he already have enough education about entrepreneurship and experiences of entrepreneurship. And then next is the parents background. His parents, he was brought up by a father who is a construction contractor and a mother is a retired mathematics teacher. But today he is in a business field, where this proven that even though someone is not from a business background or family that are running a business, he can also run a business just like the other person. This is because it is enough for him to have a moral support from their family. Next. Okay, next is a primary motivation. As for when we ask Mr. Teoh what is his primary motivation for him to start up the business, he tell us that he always hold on to 3C, which is cash, change, and control. Cash is he just had a lot of desire to have a lot of money and have enriched life, and also for change, he wanted to change because his dream is always wanted to become a changer of a pet shop industry because it is very hard to find a pet shop in Kelantan mainly that are offering both pet essential, pet grooming, pet consultation, and also pet boarding. And also he also want to control, but he want to take the leadership on his own business and he want to be the boss, be his own boss. And then as the goals before startup is initially he just wanted to have a high sales number where he just want his sales number to go up and up and get a lot of profit and income. But then he realized that after that the true goal of him starting up a business is for him to have to provide a better life for his employees. And also next as for available resources, um, available resources are divided into 4 points, which is financial, human, and physical and emotion. As for financial, Mr. Teoh and his partner, which is Miss Yap, they already had some saving for to start up a small business on their own at first. And then as for human resources, they start Candy Pet House with just the two of them, which is already enough for the startup of small business. And then um, as for physical, they already have a small building where they can use as a pet shop at that time. And then as for emotion, they had each other's back, so they support each other. That is enough for them to guide each other. And also, actually, available resources, we need educational resources, which is as for educational resources, Mr. Teoh is depending on Miss Yap because Miss Yap is very active in dog shows and animals events, so she had some knowledge in pet shop management. And also, as for networking, as what I said just now, Miss Yap was very active in a dog show competition and event, so she knows some people that providing a food pet food. And then as also for risk orientation, what they had faces during the first 2 years of opening candy pet shop, they don't have any income or any profit at all. This is because they keep rounding up the profit when they get the money, they'll just use that money to buy something else where they don't have any other income or saving. This is because they just want the candy pet house to grow faster in the first 2 years. So that's all for my part. Next, I'm going to pass it to next presenter, which is Hazel, to start on business model canvas.
Thank you, A. Hello, sir. Today, I'll be talking about the business model canvas for business, which is the customer segment. The customer segment is actually a very most important building block for a business model canvas. This, if you get like this block right, it's a right key to the success of your business. So as for Mr. Teoh for his candy pet house, he made sure that his customer segments are well taken care of. So his customer segment basically consists of animal lovers, as we know, animal lovers who has pets, and mainly his customers are dog and cat owners who comes to his shop. And he also made sure that his customers are based on the place where he opened his store, which is at Kota Baru, Kelantan. So his customers are mainly from places nearby the store. He made sure that he chose the strategic place for his store to be open. Other than that, his customer segment consists of loyal customers who constantly come back to his shop to get his service, boarding service, and buy pet stuffs. Other than that, he made sure his customer segment is like based on his customers' need. So what normal pet owners needs are pet consultation, grooming services, and boarding, which he caters to all of their needs. So his customers are very important. So the next I'll be talking about is the value proposition that Mr. Teoh's company offers. His pet shop offers service included pet consultation, cat grooming, and boarding. He value proposition is to meet your customers' need. What they need, you have to offer. In order, if you offer whatever a customer need, they will always come back to you, and of course, you will succeed in the business. As for Mr. Teoh, he did what is right. So he also sells pet foods, pet accessory, and many other things that a pet owner really need, like shampoo, nail clipper, and many more. And he always made sure that they had a variety and choices offered for his customers, like not only one choice, but many other like different types of food, different types of litter that to in order to cater to his customers' need. Other than that, he also made sure that his environment, his shop is a very clean and air conditioned environment, like to provide for like boarding services. He made sure he like offer everything that a customer need. And he also made sure there's good customer service instilled in his workers and even him. And other than that, his pet shop also offered a reasonable price for all the items that they sell at his shop. So the next BMC is the channels. So for a business to grow and reach to many people, channels are very important. When you have a proper channel, then only customers will get to know your business, know what you're selling and all. So for like Mr. Teoh, he also chose online services. So he also did have Facebook. Facebook is one of his channel, where in Facebook he always post about his new arrivals of pet accessories. He made sure he constantly update on what is new, what are the new offers and services that his pet shop offer. He also made sure that his business hours and his availability is always shared in Facebook, so that customers who really need his service will know what his shop has to offer. And he made sure like he did his best. He always posts regularly in order to keep customers satisfied. Other than that, Mr. Teoh also has a Shopee. He uses the channel Shopee to do online business. As now we know, like this past few months, we had COVID. So at that moment, when the control movement order was introduced, people are not allowed to go out. So Shopee is one of the best option that customers could get to get the needs of their pets, like pet food, which is very important. So during this scenario, his Shopee online business was very good. As you can see, he still get to like keep up his company and manage to continue even though it was a global pandemic going on. So Shopee is a very good channel. Other than that, he also used Facebook ads. For Facebook ads, he like constantly made sure that it's shared among Kota Baru customers, like customers nearby him, so that they would know the existence of his shop and they could come and get whatever they want from a customer would know whatever his shop offers, services and accessories, all that. Next, I'll be talking about customer relationship. So customer relationship is also a very important aspect of a business model canvas. You have to take care of your customer in order to like gain proper sales, so that people will come back to your shop. If you like offer like bad customer relationship, no one will come to your shop. So as for Mr. Teoh, he made sure that his customer relationship is well taken care. So what his part he had to do was he did provide monthly promotions. So monthly promotions for customers who like have who is regulars will benefit, as they know like there's monthly promotion, they'll come back to his shop in order to get products. Other than that, he also give vouchers to his new customer. He made sure that his new customers can come back to his shop to get to buy things using the vouchers that he provide. It's a very good strategy, I would say. Other than that, he also provides free gifts for like sales for people who purchased more than 50 ringgit and all. So people will like all these free gifts, vouchers, and they will definitely come back to his shop. And based on his experience, he said a lot of customers comes back to his shop. So other than that, he also provide purchase with purchase, which is like if you buy an item, you buy one item, you can get the second item like for 50% offer. So it's also a very good strategy. Other than that, he also makes sure that uh he takes feedbacks from his customers regarding his service. He said that he needs to know that how his customer feels. Is his service enough? So if say like certain customers who are like not happy with anything, they would complain to him so that he can take better precaution and provide what's best for his customers. So he made sure that his customers are his priority. That's all from me. Now I'll pass to next presenter Muhaimin to continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hazel. So now I will be talking about the revenue stream of Kenny Pet House. So basically, how does the business revenue stream is how does the business earn revenue from the value proposition? Next. So Candy Pet House has multiple income revenue streams, which was briefly explained by my teammate Hazel just now. Candy Pet House offers pet consultation, pet grooming, boarding services, and also they sell essential and accessories. So for pet consultation, is basically the customers who come into Candy Pet House, they probably have their pets probably have maybe some issues like they're not eating well, they're not drinking well, they're not pooping well. So they have all these problems and they don't know where to go to. And then suddenly they heard about Candy Pet House and about the good service that they offer and the good reputation that Mr.Teoh has built over the years, which is what made them come to get the pet consultation over at Candy Pet House. And then next is pet grooming. As we all know that pets, regardless cats and dogs, they all know how to groom and when to groom themselves. Because animals they like to keep themselves clean, but at certain times there are certain parts of their body that they cannot reach, and this requires extra help from us humans. But it cannot be done by just anyone. It has to be done by professionals, which is why Mr. Teoh offers this pet grooming service, and he makes sure that he hires one of the best professionals in grooming that he can, that is either available in Kota Baru or elsewhere in Malaysia, which he has over at Candy Pet House. And because of this, they have like a very good reputation in Kota Baru. So many customers actually do come by for the pet grooming service, and they have like good results, which you can see at their Facebook page, I assume. And pet grooming is also one of the service which makes customers keep on coming back because you'll have your own like follow-up appointment when is the next grooming is going to be. And then another popular service is boarding. Boarding, basically any pet store available would probably have their own boarding service. But what makes Candy Pet House's boarding service is a bit different is because each animal would have like their own space, because certain like pet stores or pet houses, they would just cramp their animals all into one area, and it's very crampy. It's not comfortable. But at Candy Pet House, they made sure that each pet has their own space so that they don't feel very, what do you call that? Claustrophobic, is that the word? They don't feel very crampy basically, because who would want to be enclosed in a small area? No one, including animals. So Mr. Teoh made sure of that, made sure that the boarding service that they offer would provide the best comfort to the animals who come by. And there are two different kinds of boarding service, which are the one that includes food and the ones that exclude food. The one that includes food would be for the pets who would stay overnight, who would have to stay, or whose owners had to be away from home for like 1 week, 2 week, or maybe 1 month because of work. But for the ones without food is normally because if the animal has to go for like surgery, or maybe have to go for like some checkup, which requires for the animal to fast. So that's why there's boarding service without food, and the price range is also different, but it's not that much different anyway. The ones with food will be 12 ringgit, and the ones excluding food will be either around 10 or 11 ringgit. So yeah, and then next is essentials and accessories. Essentials here meaning pet food. So basically, pet food, all of them are not the same. There's like the commercial pet food and also the veterinary prescribed pet food. The commercial pet food is the ones that you can just buy straight away from like Giant or Aeon or Patatimo. But for the veterinary prescribed one, you have to get it from like an official store. So in this case, it's Candy Pet House. Candy Pet House offers the veterinary prescribed pet food because they have their pet consultation service. So basically, how that food is being given out is depending on the animal's condition. So if the animal comes in and then they have like some urinary problem, so they would be prescribed the pet food, which is which is formulated especially for pets, for animals who have urinary problems. And then next is accessories. Accessories that Candy Pet House offers ranges from pet collars to pet bowls and what do you call that, the carriers, which all comes in different sizes because certain stores, they don't have all the size. They're not that diverse. So with Candy Pet House, actually, Mr. Teoh mentioned that he tries to make sure that his products and services that he offers for pets is well diverse because pets come in many different sizes, big and small. So it's kind of unfair if you sell products that is only limited to like small sized animals when dogs or cats, there are small cats and big cats also. Dogs are the same, they're small dogs and big dogs. So yeah, that's from the revenue stream. And next would be key activities. So basically with key activities is what are the strategic things that the business does to deliver its proposition. Next. So the key activities that Mr. Teoh made sure that he practiced within Candy Pet House is to be proactive and set clear goals. So Mr. Teoh filters the people that he hires and make sure that the staff working at Candy Pet House are able to understand the products and the services available because certain like pet houses or just certain stores in general, you just stock the products up in the shelf and then that's just that. But not in the case with Candy Pet House where Mr. Teoh actually makes sure that all of the people that he hires, basically the staff that he have, knows the knowledge behind each product. Like they're able to explain to the customers like why should they buy this product over that, and basically this will help the customer to have like a clear picture of what the product is and not confuse them, because for like certain pet stores they would just put on the price tag and then just put, like for example pet food, they would just put the food on the shelf, and then when the customer comes by they would just look at the product, look at the price, and then compare it to another store which would probably sell it for like a cheaper price, and then for what reason they wouldn't know. Which is why Mr. Teoh made sure to differentiate the prices based on the nutritional content of the food, if it's in the case of the pet food, because the contents of the pet food are different. So he made sure that each category of pet food is differentiated into their own like price range. So when a customer comes in, they would know what to get. They would ask for what they want to get. They would describe the the kind of food that they want, and then the staff can just straight away get the food that they want, and it's that simple. So and next, um, what kind of strategy that Mr. Teoh practice over at Candy Pet House is to set a goal every month so that Candy Pet House actually doesn't lose track of their progress. Ever since Candy Pet House opening in 2013, Mr. Teoh always makes sure to set a target, whether it's by the end of the week, by the end of the month, or by the end of the year. Candy Pet House has to have to reach like a certain target so that they can remain self-sustainable by themselves and not go down, which is something that Mr. Teoh actually has been practicing throughout the past few months of the lockdown as well. He had to actually restructure his whole business plan in the midst of the pandemic. So next is key resources. So basically, what unique strategic assets that the business must have in order to compete with other businesses. Next. So the key resources of the Candy Pet House that makes them, be on top and able to compete with the rest of the stores are out there in Kota Baru is because they have a good management system created by Mr. Teoh. So when Mr. Teoh eventually built Candy Pet House, he lists down the roles of the key people in the company, meaning first of all, Candy Pet House started by just him and his wife, and then they began searching for staff, for employees basically, but they made sure to like filter them properly because they don't want to just hire random people. They want to hire people who can actually do their job and know their job. And then when they got the staffs, basically their people settled out for Candy Pet House, they need to get in touch, get in contact, and find suppliers so that to provide Candy Pet House with the items that they need to sell, the products they need to sell. So which took a while for Mr. Teoh to search because he was new in the business and no one knew of his name. So he had to like browse through the internet and go through like um, newspaper articles. I don't know if you mentioned that to find like advertisements of suppliers of places who could, places of people and company who could supply products for the shop, which he eventually found, and they're a good supply. They are a great supplier, which has been the same one ever since Candy Pet House was established back in 2013. So next was to find like a good software system for Candy Pet House because right now we're in the 21st century. It's impossible to not incorporate some sort of technology into your business. You cannot stick to logbooks until you die. Eventually, you have to evolve. So, what Mr. Teoh did was that he knew he had to find like a good software system to keep track of the sales and also the inventory of Candy Pet House. So Mr. Teoh went out and surveyed like all of the pet stores available, the ones that he knew of, and then after surveying like pet stores, what kind of services, what kind of software that they use, he went on to other small like shops, what kind of software that they use to keep track of their business, and eventually he actually found one, which is a good one, which he keeps it as a secret. He didn't actually tell us, but it's a good one. And then next, what Mr. Teoh did was again to set goals because you have to have something to push you, to like achieve. So which is why Mr. Teoh made sure to set goals like for every end of the month you have to reach a certain target sale, or you have to at least not underperform from the previous month, because again, this will motivate the staffs also at Candy Pet House to work hard, and setting goals also makes the store function in a very efficient and disciplined way, meaning that the people there won't like slack off from their job. They will always try to be at their best when they're performing the job. Next. Okay, so now moving on to key partnership. What can the company not do so that it can focus on its key activities? So when we asked about this to Mr. Teoh, he made sure that Candy Pet House, the products that they sell, does not confuse the customers, so that it does not create a price war. Because, like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Teoh made sure that the products over at Candy Pet House are well differentiated into like their own range of prices based on their nutritional contents. Or, for example, pet collars. The collars for cats and dogs, the size are different, so you make sure to differentiate the price tag as well, so that it does not create a price war. Because price wars can make the shop not look so nice. It'll create like a very ugly experience, because Mr. Teoh had like an experience before at another pet shop before he opened Candy Pet House, that he went in, and then he saw um, basically pet carriers. They were of the same size, but their prices were different. Like he couldn't process it. Like, what makes these two products, these two carriers, are priced at such a different range when the size are the same. So, and then when he asked the person who was at the store at that time, they couldn't even explain it to him. They didn't know why it was priced like that. So Mr. Teoh made sure that um, there were no like price war in his store, so that it's easy for his customers to come by and then just get the products, because there's not going to be any confusion. And then next, another thing that made Candy Pet House um, you know focus on its activities is that it does not focus much on partnership programs. Because if you join a partnership program, you have to like allocate like a certain time or a certain space of your store to place the other product and display the product, which will, to Mr. Kyo, it's somewhat, it will give a hint of message to his customers that his store is like some advertisement board for other products, which he doesn't want that. He wants his store to focus on the services and the products that he offers, which are, pet consultation, pet grooming, and the accessories that any pet house sells. And also with partnership program, you have to actually um, like alter your store, or maybe change the structure of how you present your store, because you wouldn't have full control over a partnership program. It's based on the wording of a third party, which Mr. Teoh doesn't want that, because when he opened Candy Pet store, it's his store and he wants to have full control over his business. So because that will make Candy Pet House stay true to its brand and not be infiltrated by other entities. So yeah, that's what Mr. Teoh said. So next is the cost structure. What are the business major cost drivers and how are they linked to the revenue? Next. So basically the cost structure involves with the amount of money involved in building a Candy Pet House. Initially, Mr. Teoh invested about 30K into this business, which he did not have that much amount. So he had the help of his wife, who offered some sum of money, but Mr. Teoh was um, he didn't want to accept that at first, because this is going to be his business. But then after a few discussions with his wife, and his wife telling him that she would probably be involved in this business, in this project as well, so why not she chip in and help in building up Candy Pet House. So his wife was one of the helpers as well in getting um, the money. And next, after that, he also went out to find for loans, which could be through a government grant or maybe a bank loan. But he eventually went and got like a bank loan after like few surveys, because it's not easy to get a bank loan, because different banks have different criteria, so different ruling. So yeah, so eventually he used up a total amount of 30K to build up Candy Pet House, and the spendings include to secure the location and also the building to build the establishment. Um, Other extra spendings include to get the equipment and also the supplies to sell over at Candy Pet House. So when that was all spent, they had some amount of money left, which they allocated for advertisements in the beginning, because when they first opened Candy Pet House, no one knew of the store. They were new to the block, to the neighborhood. So they had to spend extra money for advertisement, which includes newspaper spread and also setting up billboard advertisements over in Kota Baru, because that's where their store is. And then after the opening of Candy Pet House, the customers were coming in very slow because they were new. But once the advertisements were up, for like 1 to 2 weeks after that, he started to get more customers coming in. All of a sudden, it was just like a surge of customers coming in. It's because of the amount of publicity that they were exposed through the newspaper spread and also the billboard advertisements. And then after a few years of establishment of Candy Pet House, they were able to gain back the profit that they uh, initially, spent on. They got to gain back that money. But Mr. Teoh admitted that Candy Pet House was quite slow in the beginning due to low popularity, but after that it was through the advertisement, the global advertisement, and also spreadings of Candy Pet House through word of mouth, through the customers. They would go on to then recommend the services to their friends, and then their friends would come by to Candy Pet House as well, and they were satisfied with the services, and then they go on and then recommend it to their other friends. So Mr. Teoh said that the success to what made Candy Pet House become like a household name for pet store in Kota Baru was because of the service that they offer, which was very good. That everyone just kept recommending other people to come to his store, which is a good thing. And then we also asked about the relationship between Mr. Teoh, Candy Pet House, and also the supplier that supplies them with the stocks, which Mr. Teoh said that it has been the same supplier ever since they opened in 2013. Because this supplier gives like a good pricing to the products that Mr. Teoh is looking for Candy Pet House, is what made him stay with the supplier, because sometimes suppliers can get very um, selfish in terms of pricing because they would want to give profit only. But what Mr. Teoh has with the supplier is um, like a long-term business relationship, because Mr. Teoh has always been very um, consistent with payments. He always pays when it's up to date. He never like owes the supplier money, because sometimes when pet stores they would want to get supplies, they don't have like the amount of money to get the total amount of stock, but they still want it. So they eventually negotiate to like, oh, you know what? Why not? We just owe you for this month. We'll just pay back for the next month, which was not in the case of Candy Pet House, because if they could not afford a certain amount of stock for that particular month, Mr. Teoh would gather his staff, and then they would uh, restructure back the budget to how many amount of products that they would need so that it doesn't run out of budget and they don't owe the supplier money. So next, I think that's all by me. So now it will be my teammate Uma.
Thank you, Muhaimin. So I'll be continuing on the part, the lesson learned. So the lesson learned in this interview that we had with Mr. Teoh was the motivation, where he was motivated to have this stop because there was one incident happened to him, which his house was broke in, and he was so worried of the safety of his house. So he decided to have dogs. So his partner, which is his wife, so decided to give him golden retriever, two golden retrievers. But then they had some problems in giving them proper food. So that's where he was motivated to open this pet store, candy pet store, so that he's very sure that there's some other customers and people who are having this kind of problems, so that to reduce the problem, he decided to open this pet store so he can supply food for the pets. So basically, the motivation that really get him into this business, which was the problem that he went through. So then, successful entrepreneurship needs determination, freedom, discipline, connectivity, and an abundance of skills in planning. So when he had this problem, that's where he decided to have a good plan so that he can get to open this pet store. So that's where he got the 30K. He invested it into this pet store, and the discipline that he had in him to get what the customer and what the pets really need was one of the key point for a successful entrepreneurship. So then next will be self-employment, where self-employment is common for men who gets a chance to make a difference and set new trend of industrial growth. This happens where I can see that when his wife supported him to become his partner to open this business. So he was very into this business, where he really wants to get the good quality like food, the accessories for pets and owners who are really struggling to get and to find them in his place over in Kota Baru. So by opening this business, he knew that it will provide some job opportunities for people who are seeking for job. So um, he was finding for people who really into this business, where they able to know all the details about the pet food, about the consultation service, and about all the accessories, how the things can be used when one customer asks them to explain. So he makes sure that the employee that he takes for the job really fits for the the the, the qualification, where when they can able to explain to the customer what to make it easier for the customer to attract to the particular product. So Next, where we learn on creating an effective marketing strategy, where I can see during this pandemic, where he uses his online business to widen his business opportunity, where he uses his Facebook, Shopee, Facebook ads to really publish his business, so people can get things easily by just purchasing it in online. So, like, there is a lot of way for us to market our business. So, like, for example, blogs, putting it in a blogs, and then like Google, we can, when people just Google candy pet store, and they can just have everything what a customer needs, like the timing, the location. So these kind of advertisement are part of the marketing strategy. So besides that, this one also may lead to widen the business to a better level, to bring it to a better state in Kelantan, and he wants to spread his business all over Malaysia. So that's what we learned. And next, okay, the key success factor of the business. So where basically to have business, the main factor is the company's leader, the person who runs the business, who's the head of the business, who he has have a clear mission, clear vision, to make sure that he directs the company to the right way, how he wants it to be. So if he fixes his vision and mission to make sure that he gets the business in a wider range, or to make sure that customers get to know about this business, so it will be easier for him to achieve his goals. So other than that, assembling the right team. So assembling the right team is where putting together all the people who are talented, who are experienced, who have skills, who the skills where they able to know all the knowledge. For example, like the pet food, like the veterinary prescribed food, where the the staff able to explain what each food are meant for, because some food are meant for some particular system or the skin. So it will be easier to attract customer, and to make sure they know that we know about the product, and explaining it to them in a good way where they able to convince with the product. So next will be the quality product and service. So as Mr. Teoh offers grooming, boarding service, the accessories and vet consultation as well. So all these service where are very essential, where people really want to get for their pets. So for example, if the pets are not well, so they just can't. I'm sure that some area they don't have vet clinics. So when providing this kind of service, it will make the customer more easier to find, and more easier for them to spread to other people that this store has this service. And moreover, I'm sure people are very busy with all their works, and they don't have time to groom their pets. Sometimes they will like 1 to 2, 3 months once only they groom their pets. So providing these kinds of service, it will help the customer to solve their problem. It's just that they have to bring the pets over to the store and just let them handle and how they want to make sure that the things get done easily. So, and by these kinds of service, people get to know more about these people, because I'm sure that people will go and tell to other people will go and tell to the next people, so that this is how people get linked to each other and they get to know about this business. So next factor for a successful business is consistent marketing strategy. So the marketing strategy, as mentioned, that Mr. Teoh uses online business as well, where he the promotes his business in Facebook ads, and Shopee. This I'm sure that people can easily nowadays people are shopping a lot in Shopee. So definitely by just searching any pets item, I'm sure that it's easily can be seen that which store and what is the price is, and how long does it take to come, and the delivery process. So I'm sure this is where people get to know about the business. And moreover, by marketing strategy, this business able to the message across this multimedia and all the social media able to reach to other people as well. Moreover, the marketing strategy is one of the biggest factor, I will say, because I'm sure a proper marketing will lead to a proper business strategy, where people able to see and people able to see the goals, the hard work that a person brings into this business, and they're trying to establish a good business and good strategy. Moreover, by this marketing strategy, people tend to find for things, and by this strategy, people get to know. People able to see the needs and what stuff they really need. So from this marketing strategy, they're able to get whatever they want. They just need to search it. And next will be the volume of sales, where sales are quantifiable way to validate our ideas. So and moreover, sales are our wins, where the more sales, the more our business can be a success, where as the sales come in, and we can develop our business into a better range. For example, in Mr. Teoh's, where he's not only providing one service, which is to sell pets food. He also has this vet consultation, grooming, and all other accessories. So this can bring more sales to the company, and this will establish more other branch where he can open in some other places in Kota Baru as well. So basically, that the main thing that we really have to see as a factor in a success business is to determine the problem that we face, and to change the problem to a solution that where we able to see what other people actually need, and we trying to apply it by developing a business, like having a proper plan, so that we can make sure that we able to satisfy customers' need. So for like in Mr. Teoh's case, that the problem was to give proper. He unable to give proper food requirement for his dog. So that was one of the problem where he changed the problem to become a business opportunity where he able to open this candy pet store. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.